Earlier this week, four-star Jesiah Jervis scheduled an official visit to the Illini. I talk about him, his game, and more in an earlier episode of Locked On Illini. Enjoy. And welcome back to Locked On Illini basketball recruiting, or at least that's what it feels like it's been over the last couple of weeks, as we've had a couple commitments a couple of weeks ago, and now we've had more and more of the top players in the country all decide that, hey, we're going to put Illini in the top X lists that they have, and some are even scheduling visits to Champaign. And the latest guy might be one of the best of the bunch, and his name's Jesiah Jervis, a name you're going to want to keep in mind. He's one of the top high school basketball prospects in the entire country, and yeah, this is the type of player Illini fans have been clamoring for when it comes to this next recruiting cycle. I'm going to break down who he is, what kind of player we're talking about, and what his official visit to Champaign is going to mean. And Brad Underwood and this Illinois program are positioning themselves in what has become a pretty crowded and star-studded race for his services. So buckle up. We're going to talk about this 6'5" New York guard with big-time game and even bigger upside. So let's set the table. Jervis is a 6'5" guard out of Archbishop Stepinac in New York, a school with rich basketball pedigree. And if you follow East Coast hoops, you know Stepinac. They've produced D1 talent for years. He runs on the Nike EYBL circuit with NY Rens. And you follow grassroots hoops, you know how loaded that program is. The Rens have had lottery picks come through, high major starters, and guys were household names now in college basketball. So in order to stand out on those rosters, that says something about what kind of player you have to be. And that's the thing. Jervis isn't just good. He's the type of talent that I genuinely think can be one of the leading players in any sort of class. He's not a fringe high major guy. Nationally, he's in that consensus top 75 with some services. I believe it was on 3 that had him all the way up at number 23 in his class. ESPN has him in the top 50, but regardless, wherever you look, the consensus is clear. Jervis is a blue chip player. He's coming off a monster summer. He tore up Peach Jam. He led Stepinac to a 3rd consecutive league title, and he earned offers left and right. And here's what matters for us. Illinois has officially made his final 8. So who else is in the mix? Michigan State, NC State, Texas, Florida, Pitt, Oregon, Tennessee, and yes, Illinois. Now, this is a list of who's who. That tells you how national his recruitment is. But the Illini are in the hunt, and it seems like Jervis's interest is real. So what makes Jesiah Jervis special? And once again, we'll start on the offensive end. Now, stop me if you've heard this, or at least heard me say this before. Jervis is a 3-level scorer. Now, I'm not just repeating myself. I'm telling you, I keep saying this because it seems that's what Brad Underwood wants to recruit. That's the type of skill trait that he's looking for in his players in these future recruiting cycles. Again, as common as it seems for the Illini to be looking for that, it's actually a pretty rare trait to find in high school. And that's what kind of makes Jervis so appealing at this next level. From deep, he's got the modern guard skill set. He knocks down the threes with confidence, and he isn't just afraid to pull up the dribble and the release. It's quick, it's smooth. Scouts rave about his range, and at Peach Jam, he dropped 28 points and hit 6 threes in the quarterfinal game. Those are the kind of performances that get noticed, and it changes the entire geometry of the defense. Opponents have to guard him the second he crosses half court. Off the bounce, he's explosive when he attacks closeouts. He doesn't mess around with unnecessary dribbles. He's efficient, and he goes straight to the rim. That makes him lethal in the transition game as well as in half-court sets. And when we talk about his mid-range, you can tell that Jervis has studied the pros. Guys like Devin Booker, SGA, Jason Tatum. You can see it in how he tries to create space in the jumpers, off screen, little step backs, fadeaways. It doesn't matter. He's comfortable. He's a student of the game. As for around the rim, he's not afraid of length. He's not afraid of shot blockers. He's crafty. He uses his body well, and he finishes through contact. That's toughness that you can't teach. And here's the kicker. He's also developing as a playmaker. He's not out there just hunting shots. He can run a pick and roll. He can make the right reads and hit the roll man or kick to shooters. Versatility. That's what separates a scorer from being a complete guard. So let's flip it on over. Let's talk about defense for a second. And I think this is also where low-key Illini fans can be excited, because Jesiah Jervis, he takes pride in his defense. And this is according to every scouting report I read of his online. This is not lip service. After locking up an opposing star at the Springfield Hoop Hall Classic, he told reporters, "I always want to neutralize the opponent's top scorer." Think about that. You've got a top 50 kid who's not just about getting buckets, he's about getting stops. That's what you want. He picks up full court. He fights through screens. He uses his length to disrupt. And he's not just guarding the weakest guy to save energy. He wants the assignment. That screams Big Ten guard. And it's not just me hyping him. Yeah, I am. But his high school coach, Pat Mazzaroni, told Zag's blog, "Jesiah has had a tremendous spring. We will rely on him and a heavy senior class to lead us through a challenging schedule." Leadership, a guy who embraces pressure. The 3 straight titles at Stepinac, big moments at Peach Jam. Every time the stage gets bigger, Jervis rises to it. So now we come to the recruiting battle. We know his final 8. The buzz right now seems to be Michigan State and NC State as the leaders. And we know Izzo's track record with guards is pretty good. And NC State gives its guys freedom to play. So those are, of course, real draws for a player of Jesiah's skill set. But Illinois, they're not on the outside looking in. They've actually been pretty consistent, and they've not only built a relationship, they've emphasized the fit. Here's the key. Jervis has talked about wanting a family atmosphere where he can win and prepare for the NBA. That seems to be the pitch. Champaign has shown it can develop pros. Illinois has shown it can win big in the Big Ten. And culturally, Brad Underwood has built a locker room where right now they're focusing on toughness and they're trying to step up their defense, which could be music to an all-around player like Jervis. And Jervis made it very clear that he knows how fantastic the strength and conditioning program at Illinois is. Of course, I say it all the time. Fletch is a cheat code, and Fletch might help you win this recruitment. This visit is going to be huge. It's where Illinois has to roll out the red carpet, get him to a football game, let him feel the energy of the Orange Crush, let him picture himself at the State Farm Center with 15,000 fans chanting his name, show him the plan, show him the NIL opportunities, and show him a potential NBA path. And if they do that, Illinois, I think, can make it to the very end. Bottom line is, I know Illinois fans, for the most part, have been kind of lukewarm, not only with the commits that they've gotten so far for 2026, but also some of the guys that they have visiting. You guys are used to bigger names, guys higher up on the rankings. I think Jervis is one of those recruits that you guys seem to be yearning for. He certainly has the highest ceiling outside maybe Costanza that I've talked about recently on Locked On Illini. He's the kind of guy who could be a genuine foundational piece to a basketball team. I mean, you've got a 6'5" two-way guard, a 3-level scorer, a lockdown defender, a winner. And imagine him in Champaign, hitting threes, shutting down rival scorers, and bringing that New York edge to the Illini backcourt. This is the type of battle that Illinois has to start winning if they want to keep ascending nationally. And make no mistake, Jervis is a player who you can pretty much count on him to contribute right from the start. So, Illini Nation, Locked On Nation, I'll throw it to you. How big of a deal would it be for you to get a guy like Jervis locked in to that 2026 class? Would you make him your top priority? when it comes to Illini recruits that they've been after. Certainly of the ones that I've been talking about over the past couple months on this show. And if you were in the room with Brad Underwood, I'm actually curious. What would your pitch be? Hit me in the comments. Join the conversation at Twitter. You can find me at DSonnyB or Locked On Illini or Talk Illini. And let's talk it up because this recruitment is one that we're going to be following, I promise you, each step of the way. Thank you for watching that clip from one of our recent shows. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and watch the full episode. It should be right here on this channel. Better yet, if you are a fan of the Illini, make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Illini. I produce content for you daily. That's right, every single day right here on Locked On Illini. Tell your friends, and I'll see you next time.